I don't know, just generally speaking, I want to hear from both of you. Like, what is your take right now on what's going on with Stefon Diggs? Like, what do you think he might be most upset about? Is it easily fixable? Where do you think they're at right now?
You want me to start? My take is I don't have one. And I've been trying to find out what is the issue.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And everybody's been really tightly lipped about it.
Yeah.
I've been told that it is not Ken Dorsey, if you want to strike that one off the list, because that's about all I could wriggle out of one of my sources. And when I generally come up with a column, I'm not, and we've talked about this on the podcast, we've talked about this, whether it be here or over beers, and I've just said it on all kinds of different platforms. So people have heard me say this. Maybe they haven't if they listen to this podcast. I would not make a good columnist like Jerry Sullivan or Bucky Gleason. I can't shoot from the hip. That is a skill to do, especially on deadline.
Sure.
For me to have an opinion on something, I get as much information as I can before I have an opinion on something. So the fact that I don't know what the issue is, it might be something incredibly profound. It could be something really stupid and juvenile and silly. So at fault here, or if anybody really is, my only opinion so far is that this was an incredibly bad week for Buffalo Bills communications department or the whatever process everything had to go through of like how we're going to say this. Maybe Sean McDermott, this was him shooting from the hip. Maybe this wasn't talked out. But if this wasn't planned or expected or not well thought out before Sean McDermott sat down on Tuesday, that in and of itself is a failure. And I think that there's a belief, I don't want to get too much on a roll here, but it seems to me that there's a belief that the Bills culture has been so established that it can run on autopilot. It doesn't. You have to maintain culture like you would have to maintain a marriage. Like it just doesn't run on itself. And so this was an instance where maybe they thought, all right, no big deal. We're going to get through this. Our culture is going to pull us through it. And it was self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound from what McDermott said to the Bills tweeting it out as though it were breaking news with a photo of Stefon Diggs looking like he's got an attitude and making sure that the C is on his shirt so you can see that this guy's a captain.
Yeah.
It was, you could have used any other pic. You could have used all kinds of pictures. You could have used a generic photo of a Bills helmet. But no, Stefon Diggs is not here, and Sean McDermott is very concerned. The Buffalo Bills itself said this with thought. And then the back and forth, he was here and then he left, and then the agent saying, no, he didn't. And then the word salad that Josh Allen put out there, where you could, whatever you thought, I'm sorry, Tyler, I'm going on.
Go ahead, man.
Whatever you wanted to think, whether you're Team Diggs, Team Bills, Team Josh, whatever it was, whoever side you wanted to be on, if there is a side to pick, we don't even know. You could take words, you could take significant sentences from Josh Allen's news conference and say, see,
I know.
See, because he said 50 different things that really didn't explain anything. It's not contract or it's not football related. Okay. And then his agent says it's not contract related. Okay. And then it's teamwork related. Well, that sounds like football to me. You know, is it coaching related? That would be football, wouldn't it? Like, so what is it? Like, what's this word salad? Again, I'll use that word. And it was poor all the way through. And then whatever happened on Wednesday where they had to walk it on back was embarrassing further. And then Stefon Diggs still doesn't talk, which means we're going to be talking about this for another month and a half. So culture, bad week for Bills culture this week is what I think. And I don't know I don't know why Diggs is upset. And until I do, I'm not going to have an opinion on that. But what I will say is this was a mess that didn't have to happen.
What do you think, Tyler?
My first reaction was to laugh because, to your point, Tim, it was, I mean, first of all, this is the easiest slam dunk, grand slam, public relations pocket in the NFL calendar, right? Hope is in the air for every team. I've been just the last few weeks, I was in Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, Detroit. You go into any market and you get excited about that team. And this might be the best roster in the NFL. So it's really easy to get excited about the Buffalo Bills. It's even easier for the Buffalo Bills themselves to get you excited and to get you buying season tickets and to quell any fears you may have. They had a pretty good spring, I think. I think they signed some good players, had a really good draft. I mean, we'll see if Dalton Kincaid works out. Got Josh freaking Allen. And then they just stepped in it. Sean McDermott stepped in it. I chuckled because it was like one day I'm on the Bills Twitter account and it's Pride Month and I'm clicking a link and I'm learning about Zir and here pronouns. There's the chart. And a few days later, there's Stefon Diggs with the captaincy and they're very concerned. So hard turn there for the Bills. Zir and here's to what's up with Stefon Diggs. So, yeah, it's strange. I guess if I was to have a take, I'm kind of where Tim is. It's hard to really have this fiery hot take when we don't really know
why. You don't know why.
But clearly, he went to Buffalo. He went to Orchard Park. He showed up ready to – I mean, unless it was all orchestrated by Adisa Bakari's agent, by Stefon Diggs. I don't think it was. He came to participate, had this
we don't know that.
Maybe it was orchestrated.
Maybe he was coming just to talk, and that was going to be it.
Could have been.
Yeah.
But to have this meeting.
That's why we're quibble. Everything's going to be a quibble.
Right. You're right. Something happened, though, in this meeting, because we've seen Sean protect players in that press conference setting, and he had no problem saying, like, very concerned, and basically, I don't know where this is going.
If it was an excused absence, that's all he needed to say. On Tuesday, there would have been a follow-up question about, is it injury related? He would have said, no, it's not. Maybe there would have been a follow-up question about that, and he could say, well, you can ask Stefon about that, but we're not going to get into it. It's excused. And whether he wanted to add a phrase like, we're okay with it, we're fine, then that would have been the end of it. Everybody would have been talking about, well, how's Dalton Kincaid? Like Greg Rousseau, how's he? Von Miller's, he's ready. They would have gone to their list of expected topics that they had ready to go. And then we would be wondering, okay, what is it with Stefon Diggs? And everybody probably would have settled on probably a death in the family, or who knows? People would have they would have rationalized it as not a big thing. Move on. We'll see him at the end of July.